player, or Abbarath. Sorry, having not the best pronunciations. Um, Last week was a very short session, but you guys managed to, you know, claim the pirate ship as your own. You're still working on the name, if I recall, correct?
We had some pretty good ideas in the chat,
Yeah,
but I guess we should take an official vote or something.
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool. 'Cause you need to give that to the dock clerk who's currently helping assess your goods. You know, the things he's willing to pay for. You know, the town's willing to pay for. So you don't have to go out and try to sell them because they're contraband anyway. Um, yeah, Stormy Jack's nice. Uh, you guys marched the prisoners off to the jails. Learned that several of them are now due to be hanged the next day, which will be this day. And you also received information about a quest and decided that you were going to find a way of going east down the Dunwater to find out more about what's going on with these lizard folk who have apparently been bartering with the pirates to gain weaponry. There's more to come about that, but that's what you are working on right now. And now at this point, I'm going to need to talk to Lobu. Hello.
Hi.
All right. So your character went to bed early, and Oceanus decided to come keep you company, taking up one of the hammocks. And you went to what you thought was going to be a simple and peaceful sleep. But this time, as darkness rolled over you, you started hearing water-filled screams. I'm not entirely sure how those sound, but I imagine a sea elf like yourself would know.
Yeah, I've got a good idea in my mind. There's a lot of gurgles and like almost whale sound
Yeah.
on a smaller scale.
Yeah, some of them from your own people, others from land dwellers who are screaming for the last time as water fills their lungs. Bits of a ship floating all around you, and giant tentacles everywhere. They come and you see them just kind of flick off, like curl around the tips of them, which are huge, curling around several people at once and dragging them towards an open maw. Like it easily fit them, each of them that's being thrown in. You are just nothing more than a little speck compared to this thing. And then as you try to swim away, one of the tentacles, a smaller one, one that looks like it was damaged at some point and is just busy growing back, manages to curl up around your body.
Yeah, Lobu's like screams and like is momentarily disoriented between this time and the time before when he was in the grasp.
In fact, this appears to be the same time because you're dreaming those memories and more things that you forgot. Perhaps things that simply bled together. As the rest of the screams and other people are being devoured, you get pulled towards an enormous eye, totally black in color, but you can see lids blinking over it along the green skin. And you, again, would be almost nothing compared to this thing. You could be sitting on the eye and you could still see everything because you're so tiny compared to this. But it seems to be looking right at you, no matter how small you are compared to it. And you hear.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think Lobu probably starts just like screaming inarticulately while scrambling and like trying his damnedest to like peel back this immovable force.
And you hear a voice in your head, softer than one might imagine, considering where the source seems to be coming from. And what to your people would be more of a female or feminine voice. Ah, little morsel, you struggle so valiantly for your life.
Please don't eat me. I'll do I can't die like this.
Then you don't have to. I'm in need of an emissary, after all. This looks like a very fertile world. I think I need to sleep a while and see it through your eyes. This is just a tiny snack. Something before bed.
Lobo thinks on his god, Lael, right? Oh,
If you follow, there's like the elven gods. There's probably other sea gods in the D&D pantheon, but there's also the local god here in Ollaras, who's of the waves and of the sea, and would have sea elves and other such creatures under her banner, called Woos,
Woos.
Woos.
Yeah, he thinks on Woos and like kind of he thinks back to his many ceremonies in his village and the words of the people who they kind of chime in his head like a chorus about about death not being the end for elves and how Woos will take us in and how letting yourself be corrupted is much worse. But at the same time, he's looking around at all of his dead friends and all these strangers, presumably who are dead in the water as well. And he just relents in his mind for just a moment without even verbally expressing it. But he signs that contract basically.
Yeah. And as you are gripped there in the tentacle, you feel what you would first assume to be a sucker kind of opening up around you. And it's like it's a small mouth, one that would just barely fit your body. And it seems to go up over you, and it just all turns black. And when you wait, and when you originally woke up from this, you found yourself in a pod that was green and black, and you're just kind of up on the shore and broke free of it. Your clothes and your body just covered in this weird slime. As you found yourself on the surface back then. But now, as you come to consciousness, from this dream of being consumed by this thing inside of a tentacle of some kind, you feel a strange throbbing along your side. Probably your right side, lower, close to the hip. Oceanus is nearby. He sits up from his hammock and looks over at you. Lubu, are you all right?
I don't think so. I I betrayed our people.
But what did you do?
I made a compact. I made a dark compact with a great beast. And I think even though I didn't mean to do it, I think something's happening to me.
Oceanus slides carefully off of his hammock and walks over to you and puts a hand on you. You don't seem to be a bad person, Libu. I don't know how dark this compact is, but maybe we can find a way to fix it to help you, perhaps?
I I hope so, but Oceanus, I feel my mind slipping a little. I feel I feel her in me.
And as you say that, your side just kind of that weird feeling on your side just kind of pulses a little bit. Oceanus kind of frowns, looking you over, and says, You do look slightly greener than I last saw you."
And then Lobu kind of looks down at the pulsing, and I assume he sees like a large circular bruise.
It's more of a like it's not like a bruise. It's just discoloration. There's this black patch on your side with a tiny little bits of green kind of spreading out around it, and it looks like it's slightly out. Like you were hit in the side, and it's extremely, and has now swollen up a little bit. Except that it doesn't feel like a bruise. It just feels weird.
I think Lobu's gonna be like, Oceanus, I need a little time, and is going to try and cover that up as
All
much
right.
as possible.
And on that note, you are now resistant to poison. And now back to the other people.
Oh,
So, guys, it is now the next day, the day where the pirates are supposed to be hanged.
Oh,
Do you
I
guys
go
like-
down early. I'm gonna go watch.
Roll a perception check for me, please, Topaz. Alright. You see the various people starting to gather in the around the area of the city hall where the hangings take place. There's even some that appear to have set up little stalls and seem to be selling things.
What are they selling?
One of them is just selling, cooked meats, breakfast foods. There's someone else who's just trying to do a bit of trade and, weapons and defenses, this stuff that you've already seen, a couple of daggers, maybe a small wooden shield here or there. There's also another booth that's just getting set up near the back. It's actually rather colorful.
I'll wander by since we're waiting.
All right. So as you wander by, you notice that this particular booth is being set up by a young woman. She looks human. She's got some really weird hair. She's got basically her hair's in stripy colors of both blue and pink. And she's just kind of dressed in similar fashion, similar colors. It's like all the way down a nice kind of skirt dress. And she's like humming, and she kind of like looks up at you as you pass by and gives you a smile and, hey there.
What are you selling?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. I'm not quite ready to open yet, though. Not until the action gets good. But there should be some candy, some pastries, and I've got some various toys if you're interested.
What sort of toys?
Oh, I got some stuffed animals. I've got some of these things that, the children usually like them a lot. And she pulls out this little bottle. It's like a little glass bottle with some sort of pinkish liquid inside. And she unscrews the top, pulls it up, and there seems to be some kind of stick inside with a tiny little circle at the end of it. And she holds it up and starts blowing on it, and little bubbles come floating out. Kids love these.
That's interesting. I didn't think that was possible in air.
Oh, it is. It's just hard to find the right substance that lets you to do that.
But what purpose does it serve?
Oh, it just entertains. Most of the stuff entertains. And she kind of just swipes the wand through the air, and a couple more bubbles come out. And she does it expertly, so at first it kind of looks like there's a couple of fish just swimming in the air, and then they just kind of evaporate.
Party tricks.
Yes, exactly. Like I
No
said, it
toys
entertains children.
for adults.
Well, what do you consider adult toys?
oh no.
I saw this coming from a mile away.
I give her a smirk. Oh, you know, recreational.
Well, not today, as I'm trying to get some business with some, sell some stuff to kids, and I clearly cannot have those
I
kind of
look back
things
toward
out
the gallows.
at the-
Yes, because children quite often frequent executions here.
Well, it's important. See, as far as the parents are concerned, it's very important for children to know that there are consequences for terrible actions. So they'll bring them to a hanging like this.
I suppose that's a good point.
But what I'm saying is that I don't put out those kind of toys. adult adult toys when I'm putting out toys for children.
Yes, probably a different audience.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I don't put out sales of weapons or armor when I'm catering to kids. But today it's for the children. So it's pastries and candy and toys and stuffed animals, all sorts of good stuff.
And death is
Well,
always a good diet, yes.
oh, yes.
Nothing like candy and death to start one's day. Well, I'm going to go over and watch this hanging, see how much they jerk around when they swing.
Well, have fun. Maybe come back and get some candy from me.
Perhaps I shall.
And what are the rest of you guys doing at this point?
Well, when I wake up, I guess I'm gonna go try and find Oceana.
Oceanus is, last you heard was in Lobu's claimed room.
Yeah, so I'll wait for him to wake up. Otherwise, I'm just going through
Roll
the
a perception
party
check.
funds.
Alright.
It's early in the morning.
By the way, Abarath,
Yes.
would you be the sort of person who would be interested in attending a hanging?
Oh, yes.
Alright. So I imagine that's where Topaz is going to bump into you then.
Okay. I'll be just watching the hanging.
Yeah, the gallows is currently being tested. The ropes are being strung. The prisoners haven't been brought out yet, the ones that are due to be hanged, but there's already a small crowd gathering, including a sea elf, which is not very common. Even though you're on the coast, most sea elves aren't usually found in towns, so she kind of stands out.
I nod to her and say, "Greetings."
What am I looking at?
It's a tiefling.
Fuck, do I
Describe,
even know what a tiefling is?
describe yourself,
Can I-
Abarak, and Topaz, roll a history check.
She is 5'6" tall. She's wearing chainmail armor. Her eyes are red, and she has 2 horns. Her hair is black. You see around her neck a medallion with looks like a skull.
Taking all this in. Have I heard of such a thing?
No, you haven't seen anything like this before. This is rather new to you.
Alright, I'm standing there staring.
I smile and say, "Never seen anything quite like me before, have you?"
No. Unless one counts lobsters.
Depends on what you're counting lobsters for.
Are you making fun of my speech?
No. If I was making fun of your speech, you would know it.
What are you?
What am I? My name is Dread.
I didn't ask
I'm
what your
a
name was. What are you?
I'm a tiefling.
Is that yet some other variety of land dweller?
Yes.
I've not heard of your kind. Interesting. Do you all have horns?
Most of us do, some do not.
Well then, here for the hanging.
I'm curious, but yes, I prefer to see justice done to those who deserve it.
Well, they deserve it. They're smugglers. We caught them trying to bring in their ill-gotten wares and sell them, undercutting the prices here.
Then they deserve what they get.
I think so as well. Now, I've never seen one of these work. Point to the gallows. Fascinated by the design. Have you been to other hangings?
I have, yes.
Do they move around a lot?
Some do. Most of them do to a certain extent. Depends on how quick. It depends on how quickly their neck breaks.
The drop is for.
Exactly.
That seems to ruin half the fun. Merciful, though, I suppose.
I suppose. Yes, you could torture them much longer if that's what you desire.
Only the bad ones. Speaking of which, I'm looking around for my dwarf friend.
Which one would that be again?
The one I tattooed and tortured in the
Yes. Him.
Smith shop.
Yeah, that's why the friend moniker threw me. Roll a perception check.
Nope.
Well, you don't see him. You do see about 3 other dwarves hanging around. They don't appear to be tattooed at all. And as
Look through the tiefling. You should make a note of those short little buggers. They are all born thieves.
All dwarves are thieves?
The ones around here are, apparently.
Interesting. I'll make a note of that.
I haven't seen too many of the females. I've heard they're bearded as well. Hirsute like little monkeys.
I am not sure of that either. I have not seen any female dwarves.
And then one might not be able to tell the difference. Could be some among those.
I suppose you are right.
Oh, I guess I'll hold out a hand. I'm Topaz.
I shake your hand. It's nice to meet you.
I'm fairly certain it's traditional to return the name.
I already told you my name. It's
You
Dread.
did? Oh, I wasn't listening.
Meanwhile, Noxie, what are you doing?
Noxie doesn't really want to go out today during the execution, so she's probably staying inside. Actually, a lot of people are going to be crowded over there, right?
Probably, yes. That's a good assumption.
It's a great
Right.
spot to pick pockets.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Noxie's gonna go make some cash.
Alright. Volan, what about you? What are you up to?
At some point during the day, probably early in the morning, I'm gonna approach Dovin at some point. If I can find him.
Dovin looks like he is waiting to talk to either Lobu or Oceanus, but has decided not to disturb them, believing them to be asleep.
Hey, Dovin.
Oh, Colin. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Did you have plans for today?
Not too much. Just we're gonna go through this. I kind of hold the bag of holding and pull out a couple gold coins. Gonna make sure everybody got their fair share, and other than that, no, just getting ready for the journey. Do you have something in mind?
I was actually going to ask if maybe you could spot me some of that coin. I was wondering if I could try to pick up some navigator's tools in case we decided to take the ship out at any point. Make it
Sure.
easier for all.
Yeah. I go ahead and give you 200 gold pieces.
Ooh, that's a lot.
We have a lot in here.
Dovin,
Don't spend it all at
Noxie
once.
tugs on your cape.
Nazi, do you want your share?
She holds up a sign and it says, "Who can I steal from?"
Oh, generally we just only steal from. If we have to steal, we can steal from bad people, but we really shouldn't be stealing unless we have a really good reason to.
She writes under the sign, "How can I tell bad people from good people by looking at them?"
That is an excellent question, and one that we could have a really long discussion about.
Noxie. The ones with big purses filled with coins, those are the bad ones. Steal from.
No. That's not.
She looks really excited and like nods.
We don't. That's not necessarily true. You generally want to. You can't tell a good person from a bad person just by looking at them. Usually,
Coin purse.
forward.
No,
You don't know what's inside people's hearts. What?
And Hollis holds the sign. How about I steal and then find out if they're good or bad later? Then I return.
That's might not turn out so well. You might feel embarrassed if you steal from a good person. You should find out if they're good or bad before you try stealing. What do you think is good and bad, Noxie? What do you think makes a bad person? Besides the size of their purse.
She thinks about it for a bit, and then she holds up a sign that says, "Stealing a person's voice
I
is
agree.
evil."
That is quite evil indeed.
And then
I
she
think-
writes down a bunch of other stuff like murdering innocents and like a bunch of basic stuff. So she has a basic idea of good and evil, is what you get.
Yeah. I encourage her. I add a couple things. I don't know. She doesn't think about. So stealing from people that have done these things is probably okay. Although stealing in general isn't always a good thing to do, but try to be. If you're good and you do good things, then good things will happen.
As Dovin gives Noxie a speech, Lobu keeps hearing his voice through the door after his discussion with Oceanus, knowing that people are up on deck and awake.
I have a little question about the ship. Did we tow along that smaller vessel? Is kind of like a.
No,
What was that?
I
Like-
think it got left behind.
Okay, cool. I think Lobu hearing them right outside the door is not quite ready to interact and is going to
Okay.
try and like poorly sneak around the other side and go fishing off the back of the boat.
Unfortunately, pretty much the only way to get out of here would be get all the way over, sneak all the way over here. You're gonna have to roll a stealth check to not be seen by Dovin and Noxie.
Yeah, I figure this is probably a pretty unlikely, but I think he wanted to do that.
Okay. Dovin, Noxie, roll your perception checks.
My passive perception is 16.
All right, then you clearly see Lobu trying to sneak across the main deck.
Yeah, mine is 14.
Good morning. How are you, Lobu?
Oh, hey guys. Well, I gotta go do that. Gotta go do that morning fishing. No big deal. Everyone's fine. No one's cursed. Bye.
Did I hear him right?
Noxie holds up a sign. Isn't that exactly what someone would say if they were cursed?
Yeah.
The other sea elf, Oceanus, just keeps watching after where Lobu's going and is shaking his head slightly.
Oh, I've been meaning to talk. Oh, I can't talk.
Oceanus
To
just kind
you.
of blinks at you.
Oh, we'll wait for Lobu to come back. Well, maybe we should go talk to him. Poland, do we go talk to him? I don't know. Noxie?
Noxie holds up a sign to Oceanus, and it's in Goblin. It says, "Do you speak Goblin?"
Oceanus just blinks at you.
Noxie just looks at Dovin and shrugs.
Thank you for trying. Oh, I don't actually know what you said. But, well. Oh, Noxie. I go ahead and hand Noxie her share of the party funds, 200 gold.
200 gold. All right, she's gonna put that straight into her barrel.
I love that barrel.
I love it too. Noxie loves it. It's her home.
Ooh.
Okay.
How many trinkets is that, Libby? 4? Or is that just 1 because you rolled a 4?
It's 1d4 minus 2, so I got 2.
Okay, 2 trinkets. Let me find the trinket table then. I can never remember if it's on players or DM's guide. And it is in player's guide. At least I have all the guides next to me at all times. It helps. Trinkets, page 160, 161. And I will roll with my special dice to see what you found. Alright, the first thing you end up pulling up is a set of bone pipes.
Ooh, these are cool. These are kind of cool. And Lobu puts both of them in his mouth.
And the second thing you find is an enormous greenish scale that looks draconic.
Ooh.
So, Volan, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'd probably take the coin that I got from Dovin and head out to the market, head out to the stores, because I did want to pick up some items very
Alright.
quickly.
Is anyone else going out towards into town rather than staying here on the boat?
I think Dovin will go with.
Meaning Lobu is the only one staying on the ship with Oceanus?
I'm. He's torn because he wants to go into town to exchange some of those ingot bars for gold, but Lobu literally just cursed. So I think I'm gonna stay on the boat.
Alright.
Dovin, I could take those in for you and exchange them if you'd like.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Thanks, Fulham.
No problem.
Alright, so with that exchange done, Noxie and Volan head into town. Roll perception checks, please, Noxie and Volan. So, Volan, you see that a large crowd is forming up around City Hall. The guards are starting to get themselves positioned. You also happen to see Topaz, and she is talking with a tiefling in armor. You also notice that there are several interesting stands. There's one selling food, another one selling small weapons and small armor, and a very colorful stand with made with this blue wood, and there's a pink banner hanging down that says Carly's Traveling Goods of Awesomeness. And there's all sorts of stuff being set up. All these little vials on top of this rich purple cloth, and all these little stuffed things on racks hanging out of this little door. It's the front of it is kind of like this archway of arched blue wood with these little blue doors that can open and close to help display the wares. And manning it is this woman with with this multicolored hair of both blue and pink, kind of alternating stripes, and she's kind of smiles at everybody as they pass by. and waves at them, and children are like filing over, and she's just showing off this weird vial where she's pulling out this stick and blowing on it, and these bubbles are popping out, and the children just seem very charmed and convincing their parents to part with money.
Noxie's gonna rogue double dash over there. And what's going on over there with that magical bubble thing?
Yeah. So as soon as the children start filing away, the person behind the thing looks over down towards Noxie and smiles wide. Oh, hello there. Would you like some candy?
She nods like a bunch of times, like just keep nodding.
All right. And she goes behind the how there's the pillars are set up, with the wood that's forming this archway kind of over the stand over the sorry, sometimes words kind of vanish on me. I hate when that happens. Basically, you've played Fallout 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how like the early wood framed ones, kind of the medium and high and high framed merchant stands look.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that, except the middle of it's all more arched. And she kind of reaches behind one of those wooden arches, and she grabs up this basically what looks like a tube, except atop of it is all this this cottony stuff that's dyed blue in color. It's very strange looking, and she holds it out to you.
She grabs it.
Take a bite.
She's gonna take a bite, yeah.
It is very sweet.
She pulls out her thank you sign and shows it to her.
Oh, you're very welcome. What's your name?
Noxie sign.
Well, hello, Noxie. I'm Carly. Pleasure to meet you.
She just nods.
Yeah, at her stand, there's a bunch of various stuffed, not exactly animals. Most of them seem to be in people form along one side of the rail. Another one seems to have little toys with strings and little balls hanging off of them, paddle ball sort of stuff. And then on the nice purple cloth is all sorts of little vials and other little little strange toys, like the little toy wagons, the handheld toy wagons, not like that kind that you can actually pull behind you. Just little wooden figurines that are nicely painted, stuff like that. Along with more of those little vials that seem to have bubbles coming out of them.
Noxie then gets a sudden idea and writes a note, and it says, "Is there anybody here that looks evil?"
Oh, that's a good question. Ooh, evil. You mean other than the people being hanged today, right?
She nods.
Well. And she kind of leans over conspiratorially and says, there's that one guy that he looked very evil. I don't know his name, 'cause I'm new in town, but I saw him, and he kind of just didn't look right. He smiled and all, and he seemed well spoken. He's an older gentleman, and he had a really nice, fancy clothes on and a neatly trimmed beard. But there was just something in his eyes that made me think he might be a bad guy.
Noxie just looks like she's pondering, and then she just simply walks away.
Come back soon, please, Noxie. Carly calls
She
after you.
waves.
Volan, meanwhile, what are you doing?
I'm probably going to approach Topaz and this new person because...
You're a glutton for punishment?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll walk up and tap Topaz on the shoulder.
Oh, I'll turn around and smile and slip an arm around your waist.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. I see you've met someone, a friend.
I have met a tiefling for the first time. Look at it. Isn't it magnificent? They have horns, I'm told, all of them, even the males. Oh, by the way, this one is named Dread. Dread, meet my friend Volan.
Greetings.
Isn't she beautiful?
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Well, nice to meet you, I guess. You're all here for the hanging. I was just going to pick up some items. I just wanted to stop by, say hello, make sure Topaz wasn't killing anybody.
Not yet. Where are the others?
I know Dovin stayed with Lobu on the ship, and Noxie's buying candy, or just finished buying. There's Noxie. So yeah.
Oh, by the way, Noxigo, you haven't already seen it. That place with the colored curtains, they have this thing that blows bubbles in the air.
Yeah, she has her mouth wraps down, and she's taking bites out of it.
Hello, both of you.
Moxie waves.
I'm looking around between us and just laughing to myself. Aren't we the gathering?
Yes, we are.
Looking around at any of the humans who are watching. Get an eye full. You won't see the likes of this again anytime soon.
Oh.
I smile somewhat fiercely at them. Make sure we got a good place in the front. I want to be right up in the front row to watch this.
Noxie's holding up a sign. I don't think we want people to think we're pirates.
So that's good. Hold up a sign that says pirates.
Do you think we're are you pirates?
Of course not. We killed pirates.
Noxie holds up another sign. Pirates kill pirates.
She does have a point.
Nonsense. They were all bad people.
I'm sure they were.
We have their ship now. What is it? The land dwellers, the ones that love to ride around on their floating sticks. What is it they like to call them? Oh yes, privateers.
A sudden cheer comes up through the crowd, and you see the guards leading several people that look, very forlorn. One of them is being half dragged. You could tell from here that it's the captain towards the gallows. You also see the most annoying Sandblay and that hook-handed bosun that you guys subdued, all being led towards the gallows.
Around that point, I'm probably gonna back out from the group and just go on trying to sell some stuff. I'm not really interested in watching.
All right.
Yeah, Noxie's gonna go back to the stand. To the stand with all the colorful stuff.
Some more children and a couple of adults have gathered over there and are buying stuff. You see one of the kids with with what looks like a stuffed cat, or maybe it's a tabaxi even, in the hands, although for some reason the plushie seems to have little horns at the top of it. Just kind of walking away from the stand, and Carly's just kind of waving at them, and she smiles as you come in. Not one for actually watching the performance over there, are you?
She shakes her head.
Well, I'm glad you came back. Is there anything I can maybe interest in you buying?
Is she holding the bubble thing?
She has several nearby.
Nox is gonna point at one of them.
Oh, would you like one of these?
She nods.
She kind of looks you over. She smiles, and she leans forward. Hey, do you wanna play a little a little betting game?
She tilts her head.
And she kind of looks over at you, and she points at you, and she pulls out two coins in her hands, one silver, one copper. And she says, "All right, if you can figure out which hand has which when I'm done shuffling them up, you get to buy one of my special little bubble contraptions for whichever coin you see in front of you."
She nods.
All right. She claps her hands together and starts mushing them around. She puts them out, puts them in her back. You can just kind of hear the sound of coins clinking. Right, left. And she puts her hands out, both of them covered in front of you. All right, right or left? Right or left?
I'm doing hard insight to see if I can try to figure out
right.
where.
You have no idea. Her face betrays nothing. She's just smiling wide at you.
She picks the right hand. She points.
She opens it up, and you see a copper coin gleaming in her hand. All right, that'll be one copper for you, Naxi, and I'll give you one of my bubbles.
She only has gold, so.
Well, we can pretend that she has,
a copper.
She has
yeah.
9 silver and 9 copper after this exchange. Because you can just you basically have a couple more coins in your pocket now.
Yeah.
You do a little trade around, and she hands you over the little thing of bubbles.
Cool. She's gonna start running around playing with it.
So up ahead, Sam Belay is the first guy to get hanged. And the crowd cheers even as his neck snaps.
And as he's hanging up, I'm calling out, "What is Sanbelay thinking?" I can hear the monologue. Sanbelay is choking. Sanbelay can't breathe. Oh no, Sanbelay is dead.
Yeah.
Look over at Dredd. He talked in third person all the time. Really.
I take it you didn't like him very well.
No.
Most people in the crowd are completely confused by your call out.
Yeah, they're giving you weird looks at first, and then a couple bubbles come wafting past you. His little Noxie just comes running through with the bubbles.
It's only when people start dropping coins at our feet thinking we're some sort of act that I start to worry.
On that note, Topaz, roll performance check.
Oh, jeez.
God.
Completely unintentional. Okay.
I'm not gonna use all the bubble stuff, but mind you, I'm not gonna waste this easy distraction.
I think I just frightened them some more.
Yeah, don't worry. Nobody gives you any money for that performance, as the body is the body's left up there for a minute just in case. But eventually they take it down and set it for the next person.
Look over at Dredd. That's surprisingly efficient. I wasn't sure when I first saw it, but now I see. Of course, it only works up here.
Only works up here. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if we tried it back where I'm from, they would just sort of float upwards and be hanging there, sort of like a buoy in the water, just floating upside down by their neck. It wouldn't be very efficient at all, and probably wouldn't do much of anything. It would just be very annoying. They might eventually choke out. I'm not sure.
I see your point. Yes, it only works where there is no water. Yes.
Next up is the bosun that you guys didn't like. Actually, you didn't like any of them, but the bosun was the
it does make me wonder, though, if you think about it, why don't they just drown them? I mean, it would be far less building to have to do. You wouldn't have to make this big structure. You just stick their head in the water, they'd die just as fast, wouldn't they?
Noxie stops mid-run and just gives Topaz a look,
What?
and then keeps running.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah. But Bosun actually gets up there and then panics and attempts to run. Actually, their hands are tied behind their back, and he just even though one of them's actually already gone, and he just has the freak out panic attack moment. And instead of sticking his head through the nose, just turns to run. At which point, one of the guards just comes up and stabs him right through. Blood, it goes everywhere.
You're not gonna catch me.
Ooh. So that's what happens when they don't cooperate.
Yes.
And again, wouldn't that be far more efficient just to do that? All you'd need is a sword.
You see all sorts of blood just kind of getting everywhere. A couple of the people in the crowd now have blood on them, and they're kind of backing away from the gallows.
Seawater will get that off. You jump in soon enough. If not, a little bit of vinegar.
And now for the last one. Snake Eyes. Oh, he attempts to do the same thing. He just like, no, and he just kind of, before they can even get him up the thing, he turns and attempts to ram free. At which point he too meets the end of a sword right through him. So there's
Well,
more.
that was anticlimactic. I
Yeah.
came here to see a hanging, not a stabbing. I've seen stabbings.
I rolled 2 nat 1s on this sequence. That one is they panic and run.
I lean over to Dread. The one that was up here, the good-looking one, the half-orc Volan. You should see her. I mean, she acts like she has no stomach for this. She'll cut someone nigh in twain with that axe. Blood everywhere. It's like gouts of it. Like entire buckets full. Spraying in every direction. I think she'd be inured to this sort of thing.
So now that the spectacle is over, Topaz, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess we should get back to the ship. Business to attend to. Yes, they were part of my, Volan's the captain. Part of the same crew. We're sailing on the Stormy Jack. We just named it.
Stormy Jacks. Do you think they could use another fighter?
Maybe. We're not really sailing at the moment. We're leaving it here for unloading and some, repainting. It was being used for less than honorable purposes, you see, so we've had to change the name and make it respectable. No, we'll be going out the river to deal with some lizard folk, I think.
You mind if I come with you and talk to your captain?
Help yourself if you want to. Fine with me. We could use another fighter.
Okay.
Alright.
Noxie's holding up a sign. It says Lobo needs some space.
Lobo needs some space. What does that mean?
Space from what?
Another sign. He's going through the first stage of curse grief. Denial.
Sort of goblin thing I'm not getting. What do you mean? Curse grief.
He's cursed.
Cursed like, what do you mean he's cursed? How?
She shrugs.
Alright, so, ahead of you, Dread, you see a ship. There's a couple of people along the side, kind of covering up the name on it. You see you see the words C, S-E-A. Of course, in common it's probably something else, but and then you see the beginnings of a G and an H. And the rest of it seems to have been covered up by now because they're working on, renaming the ship. There's also a man standing outside. He, thin and mousy with glasses. Yeah, Topaz, you saw this guy before. He's the one that was offering you guys money for selling the stuff down below and said he would arrange it. Have you guys already accepted that money? I cannot remember for the life of me.
If we did, we haven't added it to the party funds.
Got it, then you haven't yet. So I will switch back to that page and give you the amounts again. And he's like smiles at you guys and say, hello. I just wanted to see if you guys had an actual name to supply for the ship, because it's no longer the Sea Ghost. So how are you naming it? Do you have a decision on that?
I believe we thought Stormy Jack, yes.
All right, I'll make a note of that. He, looks down at his clipboard and starts writing on it. All right, Stormy Jack it is, and the captain is registered as Volan. We'll have some other paperwork to sign on that eventually, like, we'll need a navigator, a bosun. I'm pretty sure, out of character, I'm forgetting a few here. But, we'll make sure you guys have registers of who's doing what on your ship. Like, who's registered to go in and take supplies. Oh! That reminds me.
Pretty sure I'm navigator.
Yes. Well, the counselor, Ada, she is also, wishes to pass along this, and he holds up a slip, for all your good works, and hopefully do something you're already planning to do, and I don't know if she already talked to you about this or not, but she's just, made sure I would pass it along to you. And, as always, we are, for the goods here on your ship, if we're going to be unloading them, we'll be giving you 500 gold and taking care of your registration fee.
Perfect.
All right. She just makes some more scribbles. So I hope you don't mind. We're just going to be sending some people on the ship later in the day to collect all those goods.
I shrug. Fine with me. If that's how you do things.
All right. Excellent.
I'll let the captain know.
Excellent.
At which point I'll go aboard and go look for Volan. And I'm looking for Dovin, too, if I see him.
Yeah, so he handed you a slip. It looks like a small letter from the counselor, and another slip talking about the 500 gold for transport of the goods.
Okay. Who's keeping track of paperwork? Is that Lobo?
We'd have to make a document, I guess.
Which paperwork is this? Registration paperwork?
Yes.
Oh, we can just keep that in the bag of holding. I can take that.
Yeah, we could keep it with the maps and stuff. Just extra documents that we have.
I got it.
By the way, did Noxie just sneak over to me?
Yes.
You have to roll a sneak check, please, Nuxie. You're actually sneaking.
Damn.
At some point, I'm going to go up and talk to Lobu, but Noxie can do her thing.
Oh. Hey, Noxie.
She waves. She holds up a sign that says, "You're cursed, right?"
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. Last guy that was cursed on this ship, well, he jumped into the sea and swam away.
She holds up another sign that says, "Cool, I'm cursed too."
Hey. Well, at least there's somebody else. Is it the whole talking thing?
She nods.
Well,
Is Dovin aboard?
Dovin hadn't left the ship, so I imagine he's still aboard.
I'm gonna go find Dovin. If he's in the game.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. What's this about Lobu being cursed?
Don't know yet. I've been giving him some time to adjust, but he mentioned something offhand in the way that Lobu does. So something's going on with him. We'll be all right. We'll just need to make sure he knows we're honest.
It's not infectious, is it?
Oh, I don't know. I wink at him, wink at her, and you never know with these kinds.
All right, I'm gonna go talk to him. Where'd he go? Down below.
I point up to the dock where I saw him go.
All right, making my way up, looking for them.
Meanwhile, David, there is an unfamiliar tiefling now standing on board.
Hello there. How do you do, ma'am?
Greetings.
I'm Dogan.
I'm
And you,
Dread.
Misty?
My name is Dread.
That is a very interesting name.
Most tiefling names are descriptive rather than anything else.
Descriptive. Wow. So do you are you a dreadful person? I say with kind of a joking.
I am sort of. I am a paladin.
Paladin. Always been terribly impressed with your resolves. Where did you train? And do you have an order?
Actually, do I? I don't know about that. Do I have an order out of character?
You're a paladin of let's see, Quare still, yes? We talked about this?
Yes. Yeah.
And let's see, which paladin were you again? You're an Oath of Conquest.
Yes.
Well, I imagine that you do have some order. Most paladins, most of those who take on quests from Quare, especially if it's conquest quest, your main objective would be to seek out undead, and especially regions of undead, and destroy them. Even if they are not necessarily bad undead, basically they are disrupting the natural order of things. They're supposed to go on to the afterlife. You need to send them there, even if they're not ready.
Okay.
So primarily, you'd be against necromancers. You'd be hunting down vampires, stuff like that. Especially with Oath of Conquest. That's basically your what do I want to say? Bailiwick is the correct word. Bailiwick. There. That's what you do.
Yeah. So I follow Queer, and I am hunting undead. You haven't seen any lately, have you?
Ha! Well, actually, just the other day, we squashed some skeletons, and there was this crazy skeleton alchemist person. I don't know. We took care of him. He dropped this cursed stone or something. I don't know. It was some kind of crazy business. I have his book here, actually, if you're interested in it. And it was just kind of a bunch of ramblings. I couldn't really get much from my reading it. Wait, was this a spell book? I can't remember.
There was one rambling book, and then there was the spell book that includes Dancing Lights, Comprehend Languages, Tenser's Floating Disc, and Shatter.
Nice. Well, I hand him the book that has just writing and stuff in it, and I'm not going to mention the spell book. He had this book and stuff, and something about a philosopher's stone. I don't know. It was wild. But anyways, what are you doing here? What brings you aboard?
Well, I was wondering if you could use another warrior, another fighter.
Welcome to the crew of
Stormy Jack.
Name we haven't decided yet. Stormy Jack. Stormy Jack.
It was it got registered with the dock clerk. It's now Stormy Jack.
Nice.
Moxie holds up the sign. What's your curse?
I guess I don't really fully know yet, but And then Lobu like reveals the top of like a weird mark on his side. This happened to me in a dream.
She tilts her head. Can she figure out, like, would that be an Arcana check or like?
Medicine check might work.
Okay. Oh,
Even though you're not that familiar with sea elves, you don't think that this growth on his side is very natural. But it is definitely more than just a mark. It's some kind of growth. It's weird that it happened overnight like that. It's this weird bump. We in our world would consider it the size of a baseball. It's kind of black in color. It feels very smooth, but there's like green all around it.
yo, I did not touch it, so I am not touching that thing.
It looks
So
smooth.
I don't
then.
know if it's smooth.
Noxie, though, could you keep this a little bit between us? I mean, like, I need someone to know so that, someone can keep me on the rails a little bit, but I don't really want to be kicked off the ship.
She holds up a sign. Why would you be kicked off the ship?
People don't like this kind of thing. Noxie, that freaks people out. I need to be here. I feel like I need to be here.
She holds up a sign. Maybe Dovin can help.
Maybe. Just, I don't know. Give me a few days, if you don't mind.
She nods. Then she holds up a sign. If a demon crawls out of that thing, we are kicking off the ship.
That would be fair.
And then she just promptly walks away.
Topaz, were you still heading up there?
Sure.
Because you see Noxie just walking down from the upper deck now.
Yep. No, I'm interested in finding Lobu.
I'm going to show Dovin my new bubble thing.
What is that?
She shrugs, but she demonstrates what it can do.
You see
Doesn't struggle.
some of the bubbles just kind of fit together and suddenly look like there are fish swimming in the air.
Wow. Yeah, Dovin thoroughly entertained for however long Noxie wants to show.
Hey, Topaz.
Speaking in Aquan. Okay, so what's wrong with you?
Oh, no, nothing really. Yeah, just basically just had a bad dream.
Then why is Noxie saying you're cursed and Dovin's agreeing with it?
You know,
Oh, no.
I said out loud. I had said, curse. I was still half awake.
So you're claiming you're not cursed.
Yes. Should I roll a deception?
Yes, you should.
Y'all.
Topaz, it seems that he thinks he might be cursed.
Staring at you. Just standing there staring at you.
Well,
Last chance.
look, I don't know what's going on, all right? And then you hear a voice in your head, Topaz, with awakened mind. It's like he doesn't realize he's saying it to you, but he's like, you probably kicked Kapesk off the boat in the first place because he got a curse. I know you. You're just like the head of my clan.
Okay. First off, Stay the fuck out of my head. Secondly, I didn't have anything to do with Kapesk leaving. He did that on his own. Watch your accusations. And whatever tone that is you're using in your mind on mine.
Lobu is just kind of like he stiffens and balls his fists a little bit. He's like, you can intimidate me all you want, Topaz, but
I don't need you. You intimidate yourself. Turn around and leave.
bully.
So Oceanus just kind of sees Topaz come back down and says to her in an Aquan, "What's going on? You look upset."
Lobu, being a little pissant. Supposedly he's under some sort of curse, or so a few people believe. He claims he's not.
Well, there's something going on with him. I'm not sure if it's a curse or not, but he's going through some things. I think
Yeah.
I will stay with him. I will look after him.
Good. He needs a babysitter.
Try to
I don't
give
care
him
if
some
it's
time.
curse or cowardice. Mine, he doesn't try to talk in your mind. He just did it to me.
Wow, he's developed a talent. Interesting.
Talent, all right. Does it again, he'll be glad he can breathe water because he's going to go over the side.
And all the rest of you guys are hearing is just Aquan. It sounds very odd and kind of discordant here in the air. Underwater, it sounds beautiful.
As I'm standing there and I say, what language is that? That doesn't sound... It's nothing I've heard before.
It's Aquan. Don't worry about it.
Okay, fine.
Isn't it fascinating, though, the way it interacts with the air as opposed to what it would do underwater?
Sounds much better than my native tongue.
Blurber, blurb, blurble, blue.
Yeah.
Noxie goes up to you curiously. She holds up a sign. What is your native tongue?
I look at her and I speak in Infernal. This one.
Oh god, what does that sound like?
Stuff like that.
Sounds like a record playing backwards.
Yeah, basically.
She immediately gets like a surprised look on her face and slowly backs away.
Kind of like the harsh clicks, different from the harsh clicks and clacks of Goblin and Orcish.
Yeah. But it sounds like a demon, so...
Well, more like a devil. Demon. Devil actually sounds more proper than demon. Doesn't sound exactly the same, but in a similar vein, but more guttural.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean,
Those are different.
Infernal. I would imagine that Infernal. Infernal is to. Let's see. Infernal is to Abyssal as Elven is to Orcish.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like, I can imagine, like, Abyssal would be more chaotic, considering
exactly.
that they are...
Whereas Infernal would sound like scary, but kind of musical at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Scary, evil, you can tell that, but also a little bit of music. Whereas Abyssal is very discordant. Very angry, very aggressive, very hungry.
I'm going to go ahead and give Topaz her 200 gold for her share of the party treasure. And I'm going to head up to Lobu to give him his. Hey, Lobu.
Hey, Dovin.
How's the view from up here?
It's pretty good. Good fishing earlier, too.
Nice. You have to show me how you do that sometime. Anyways, here, and I go ahead and pull out the 200 gold. Here's your share. Don't bet this all in a wrestling match.
Good. Yeah, good. I think I learned my lesson on that one.
It's alright. We all got lessons to learn. I'm sure I'll be learning plenty soon. The lizard folk have me worried. But speaking of worry, you have it written all over your face. I won't press you, but if you ever need anything, I'm right here. And I sort of give him a nod and start to walk off.
Thanks, Devin.
So I guess how long? I guess we'll wait until Vaughn comes back, and then we'll
Yeah.
figure out when we want to go get them lizard.
Yeah, especially since Topaz over there has a letter from the councilwoman.
No, I handed that over. Whoever was
That would
keeping
be
track of that.
that would be Dovin, wasn't it? Wasn't that the debate earlier?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh yeah, sorry. That I just put the registration down. Yeah, I had that too. So I guess I'll take that out and read it.
All right. So you discover it's a letter, as per talk, saying from the council that they had a discussion and decided that if you were to actually undertake the, finding out about the lizard folk and did whatever you could not to, cause any outright harm unless they were clearly like a big map showing that they were going to attack Saltmarsh or something like that. Like, anything else you could find out about what's going on with the lizard folk, they will pay you guys, assuming that you don't actually start a war with them, 700 gold just for a reconnaissance mission.
Woo!
Can't spell reconnaissance, but whatever. Got the gist of it.
I can't spell it either, so don't worry about it. Recon.
Did they have "Don't start a war" in caps and bold?
The equivalent thereof. It's like very official, saying, unless you start a war with them, we will be paying you 700 gold for the information of what's going on, what they want those weapons for, what exactly they're doing over there. And if you see that they are intending to attack Saltmarsh, make sure you bring that information back. But do not attack them unless they are clearly deciding, like, big red X on Saltmarsh saying, we attack here, that sort of thing.
Get it. Yeah, so I'll share that with, I guess just Topaz and Dread are nearby right now. Has Volan come back?
Volan, how about it?
Yeah, if I did my little search and I couldn't find anything, I'd head back to the ship.
Yeah, your sadly unsuccessful search.
Sure, then I'll pop back on board.
Yeah, so when Volan comes back, I'll go ahead and share the letter. And maybe even coax Noxie out of her barrel. Maybe so.
Aww.
It's okay. It's just a language. Dread won't hurt us, I think. Don't actually know her yet.
I won't hurt any of you. So.
See? She's fine. But yeah, so
I assume if they attack us, we can defend ourselves.
Yeah, it's basically saying, do not attack the village or settlement or whatever they have down there. It doesn't say anything about random patrols, but it's basically saying use your discretion when it comes to that sort of thing. But it's basically like, hope that they are, are just keeping to themselves and are potentially just gearing up for something else entirely, and at which place maybe Saltmarsh needs to know about this. And if it turns out that they're gearing up because of Saltmarsh, then that's going to be a problem. But, basically don't outright attack them.
So
we need to have some finesse. Potential.
We were talking about this last night, but we can't use the ship to get there. Do you guys want to maybe do you want to approach by the marsh, or do you want to go through land?
Well, like I had said before, if we go by the marsh, we're playing into their hands.
Right.
They're lizard folk. That will be their terrain of advantage. Mine too, for that matter. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to swim along the river, and it would probably be faster since we'd be going upriver to get there. But if you want to try to approach them with any degree of stealth, I imagine it's going to have to be on the land.
That's what I'm thinking. We should probably take it from a more stealthy approach, and then, if we have to, direct diplomacy. But I mean, I think I'd prefer by land just because I'm not the strongest swimmer.
You know that the Dunwater, being a river, the one that cuts through marshes and sometimes gets very clogged up. Actually, yeah, you're Marine, so you would know this. You know that that sort of terrain, you could potentially use some kind of raft to get down there because it doesn't have any low drag on it. It'll float even in the marshy areas. Though you're probably gonna need poles once you get there to like push yourself along and such.
I'll bring it up. Raft is an option.
It's not a very stealthy option, but it is an option for ease of travel.
I mean, depends on how quickly you want to get there.
How long of a trek are we looking at? On land versus on the river?
You know that either way it is about 10 miles to the east.
It's about a day and a half.
Yeah.
They don't see too well in the night, for all that they are strong swimmers. If we came upon them in the dark, even on a raft, like as not, they wouldn't see us.
I didn't know they couldn't see well in the night.
Now, we did that job where the dwarf Kapesk was blind as a bat. He
Yep.
didn't see anything.
Yeah, they don't have night vision. You know that from from hanging out with Kapesk. Dark vision, I should say.
Well, okay. So we could approach at night. I don't know if we'll be able to get much information if they're all sleeping. I guess
Well,
we should.
we don't ask them while they're sleeping. We ask them after we've already tied them up, put them somewhere convenient.
Now.
Well, I will say
Typically-
this. We do have tons of weapons that were meant to head there. About 10 of each. It looks like there might be quite a few of them. Tying them up might be a bit difficult.
We've also been specifically asked to not start a war.
So then, what are you saying? If we happen upon them and we are wildly successful and don't arouse their guards and we come upon them sleeping, now do you want to proceed?
We could look around, see if they have any documentation, like a map with a big red X on it. I don't know.
Lizard
Could
folk?
also,
I don't know, maybe.
could also talk to one.
Does
That's
anybody speak
probably-
their language? That's actually what I was looking for in the market. I couldn't find any.
Noxie raises her hand.
Yeah. What is it?
She holds up a sign that says, "Don't some lizard folk speak common anyway?"
That's certainly good.
But these are a separate tribe. I mean, Capes seemed well traveled. You know, they're off in the middle of the marshes. It might be a bit different for them.
I mean, I can.
You hear Lobu speak up from the balcony, and he's like, I don't know how touchy they are, but I think I might be able to talk to them directly, even if I don't know their language.
That's an option. I can understand them, but I won't be able to speak back to them. Define touchy.
He just like looks over at Topaz, and he's like, well, some people don't don't love psychic communication.
Psychic communication. Wow.
Noxie just looks at Lobu like with wide eyes.
That's incredible. Did you just learn how to do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've got a total grasp on it right now, but then he speaks directly into Dovin's mind. I think I can do it.
Can I speak back to you in mind, or do I have to speak out loud?
That is kind of not super clear in the awakened mind feature.
I think it's only
Yeah.
you can speak to them. But I'm not super sure, but I think that's how it works. I think it's just one way.
Hmm.
Also, that'd be a super useful fucking ability for Noxie to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take a warlock dip.
There you go. But yeah, still, that's incredible. You know how to do that. Between your ability to speak to them and my ability to understand them, we can converse with any language. We can do this. So I guess the question is, how? We can either take the route of trying to find something in the dark, some sort of plans, or overhear some sort of anything, listen to them talking or whatnot. Or we could capture one, tie it up, talk to it, or we could just try talking to them and seeing if they'll share their thoughts with us. Or all the above. Any other thoughts?
Personally, I think we should just go, and then once we get there, we might have a better idea of possibility.
Makes sense to me.
The question's still there, though. Do we approach by land or water?
Let's flip a coin.
Well, I was gonna put my hat in for the water, just because if things go badly, it'll be easier to get out by water. But I'd be okay with going over land if we wanted to flip a coin on.
If we take a raft, we can always get off it. If we don't take one, we'll have no choice but to go on land.
That too. Probably going to ride on a raft. That may or may not be influencing my.
Well, if it's on a waterway, we can definitely find a way in. That I can assure you. I don't know what the currents are. Best way to approach. If we go on land, not so much.
Well, if we're on land, I can help us go quietly. But yes, if we take a raft, we can always get off. Should we take a vote? Who wants to go by raft?
At this
Lobu
point,
votes raft.
while Lobu is saying something, Oceanus taps him on the shoulder and asks, "What exactly is going on here? What are you guys doing? You seem to be voting on something."
Oh yeah, we're about to go on a little mission to. Oh, someone should have told you about this. We're going on a mission to do a little recon for the town here. There's an encampment of lizard people who are buying arms.
Yes, I should be going with you then.
If you'd like to. Do you are you good with any sort of weapons, or are you good at hiding?
Well, I can hide. Uh, Mainly, I just wanted to go because I really need to talk with them. Uh, I don't know if you're aware about what's been going on lately, but it seems that well, from the last thing I was hearing when I was back home was that it was noticed that that a bunch of various look. I do apologize for the pronunciation of this. I'm terrible with that. Locath. Lakatha, uh, if you know what those are, uh, we're starting to head inland. Something about a lizardman settlement inside. Something about the the Saghili. That they these were what was left of a group of lizardmen um, town that had been almost obliterated by them. Apparently, there's some kind of a alliance in the works, trying to get back their land, well, their underwater land, but more along the coast.
Oh. So you must have known about this long before you got captured, huh?
Yeah, so it didn't occur to me at first that they might be the same ones, but now that I've been thinking about it, that maybe they are. Um, as far as I know, they haven't talked to any of the sea elves that I was aware of, at least not at the time. So I don't know who else might be involved, but I thought it was rather strange that they were talking to the Lakatha at all. Ooh, first night Noxie, nice.
Lobu leans over the side of the railing again, and he's like, "It sounds like Oceanus maybe has some business with these folks too. If we don't mind if he comes along, Captain."
We should be fine keeping our ship docked here. I have no problem with it.
Noxie waves over to Volan.
Yeah.
She points at the sign that she hung on our door that says First Mate Noxie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can keep that on. Sure.
She looks super excited, and then she pushes her barrel back into her room.
You guys still need a bosun, which I believe deals with supplies, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, that's right. It seems like it's Dovin, hands down.
Alright, Dovin. This is stuff that the clerk will definitely need.
The handling supplies.
To know which of you gets to authorize charging the ship for supplies, yes, and taking charge of money and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, I guess I kind of.
Falls under Dovin, yeah.
Yeah. Not really.
All right. Yeah, there's no cannons on the ship, so no powder monkey. But anyway, you guys have been told Oceanus wants to come along. I see 3 votes for raft and 2 votes for land. Someone has not voted. Who are we missing?
Oh, sorry, that's me. I vote raft.
All right.
I guess Oceanus gets a vote, but I don't think.
Oceanus is impartial in this. He isn't sure which is better. He's been, locked up on the ship for a while, and he's just barely getting his any type of legs under him again. Eating better, and gotten some real sleep, that sort of stuff.
Do we want to potentially pay somebody to guard the ship while we're gone?
Roll a insight check.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, Devin, even as you say that out loud, it suddenly occurs to you that's actually what the dock fee and the dock registration is all about.
Oh.
It's that
So they'll guard it for us?
That the ships are being watched. You've seen the guards on the docks, just the general guards. It's kind of like being in a town and having police that watch your car just because you're parked there.
Yeah. Just don't Jeffrey Epstein our ships. All I'm saying.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
So, do we actually have a raft?
No,
We'll have to go buy one.
probably make one.
I would very much rather we purchase a raft. I don't know about
What? You don't trust her? Okay.
our craftsmanship skills, no.
We fixed that boat.
Yeah, where did we leave that boat at?
You guys left that boat floating
In the middle of the ocean.
off
Basically,
the coast. Yeah.
Did it wash in?
If it did, it washed in at the Smuggler's Cove.
Damn it. Well, rowboats are only 50 gold. Keelboat, no. Everything else is too expensive. How much is a? They don't have a price for a raft, unless that's a rowboat.
Well, that's one of those things you go into town and inquire about.
Yep. Is there anything we want to pick up while we're in town other than the raft? We're good on food. We're good on water. Any requests?
Some of you might want to get something for the bugs.
Bug spray?
Bugs.
Yes. Traveling in the heavily wooded areas in warm weather.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of warm weather. It's the equivalent of early fall, which in Ollaras terms. 1 second. Let me get the correct name up here for it. Ollaras, for example, instead of having 12 months or 10 months, it actually has 4 seasons that it draws on. Instead, so there's just like 4 names. The months are winter, quare, spring, renewal, summer, divine, and fall is called feasting. So you're actually in early feasting at the moment. So it's still kind of warm, but the nights can be kind of cold. So especially in a swamp area, it might be a bit chilly.
Okay, yep. Let's go get that raft.
If Labu sees any like interesting looking scimitars as they pass through different market areas, he'll probably try and pick that up.
At the moment, it is it's mid-afternoon. You see most of the standard markets are up. Most of the stalls over by the gallows have been pulled down, except for that colorful one. The one marked Carly's Traveling Goods of Awesomeness.
I think
I guess-
Labu not seeing Matt before will probably walk up to it. Hey lady, do you know where we could buy a raft around here?
She smiles. Well, I saw all sorts of stalls. What do you guys need a raft for?
We're going up the river to the lizard folk encampment.
Her purple eyes flash and she just smiles broadly. Oh! So you need a raft to get there. Ah, she claps her hands. Hey, what a coincidence! I've been wanting to visit, the lizard folk. I don't think they have any of the sort of wares that I can sell. So I had this notion, even before I got here to Saltmarsh, that I really need to get out there and visit this lizard folk encampment that's been building up for a while now.
Oh, Volan?
Yeah, what's up?
I think we might have another person who wants to come along on the voyage.
You want to head to the marshes to see an encampment of lizard folk?
It's the one that's on the Dunwater, right?
Yeah, how do you know about that one?
Oh, well, see, I get along. I get around. I travel a lot. I hear things. She smiles broadly. But, see, I don't really have much in the way of defenses. So I was thinking, like, I'd sell some wares for a few days maybe, and maybe convince some, adventure types, or maybe some of the guards around here that need, a little working vacation, shall we say, to go out and protect me as I travel down there. I mean, I don't think the lizard folk themselves are probably dangerous. I mean, they don't live in these particular lizard folk don't live in the towns or anything, so they're probably missing a lot of some cool stuff. And she gestures at the various toys and other things she has there. Besides, I've got other cool stuff in my bags. This is just my entertainment selection. And say, since you look hardy, if you're willing to keep me safe and to help transport me there, I'm willing to part with some interesting items. A grab bag of sorts. One for each member of the party.
Oh, and we gotta do this.
Before I say anything else, do I believe that the real reason she wants to go is all her items?
Insight. Her eyes twinkle mysteriously, and you know nothing more about it.
And it would just be protection heading up there.
Yeah.
That's... I mean, I suppose if you don't cause us trouble,
Oh,
and with the promise of...
I promise.
I mean, yeah, if you're ready to pack up your stuff, we're heading out now. I think we're looking for... Dovin, we're looking for a rowboat right now.
She holds up a hand and she pulls out what looks like a bag of holding. In fact, as you look around, it looks like she has multiple bags of holding with different little tags and different colors on them, all around her. And she pulls out one and she like pulls into it, and she pulls out this thing. It looks like a long pole at first, and it has these little like ruins on either side. And she starts pressing them, and it just starts folding out and folding out and folding out until it gets to the size of what looks like some kind of raft that could fit at least 8 people. How does this look?
Wow.
Well, that's helpful.
Well, I tried selling these at one point, but there really didn't have any takers, so I might as well just keep what I've got of my stock left and, maybe use it to actually get somewhere, now that I've got some people that can keep me safe.
You're the coolest person I've ever met.
Oh, well, thank you. And what's your name? I'm Carly.
Hi, Carly. I'm Lobu.
Pleasure to meet you. And she kind of smiles at him, and why don't you pick out one of the toys on display? You look like you could use one.
I do like toys.
As you take a look at... Roll an investigation check.
Come on, roll high, roll high.
Okay, as you kind of like look around at her display of various plushy toys that are hanging on the side, you kind of see what looks like some kind of long, thin canine thing of some kind. You see what looks like some kind of deep gnome with a wide grin. On another row, you see what looks to be a blue tiefling in a nice dress. You see what looks like a female dwarf in heavy armor. And on the bottom row, your eyes are immediately locked in place by a green tentacle creature that looks kind of familiar to you.
I think he feels a compulsion to take that one. But is like, you know what? I think I'm good. I'll pick something out later.
Oh, okay. Next to that toy, because you also see that one, is it looks kind of like a human figure with a long white beard and in this fancy red clothing and a red hat.
Is it Santa?
In your world, you have no idea who Santa is. But out of character, if you saw this on a TV screen displayed, you'd be like, "Hey, what's Santa doing there?"
And these are all just kind of like stuffed animals, right?
Yeah, there's others, but those are the ones that caught your attention.
Yeah, he's gonna back up. Carly, I'm gonna think on the. You know what? No, I want the Santa. I want that red man.
All right. Oh, he's very special. He's a Oh, he's from this kindly old elf. Well, not elf. I mean fae. She smiles. A very nice ancient fae. He's lawful good. He's supposedly during the winter times. He's said to even give toys and presents to special children. He's a good friend, and she just hands it over to Lobu.
Thanks, Carly.
You're very welcome.
Well, everybody, we made a brand new friend who is amazing and has a magic boat. Let's go.
Can't argue with that. Really?
If we start heading out, at some point I'm going to pull Dove into the side and I'm just going to kind of whisper over to him. I don't have any reason to not believe that these are fine people, but they are new, so if you could help me maybe keep an eye on both of them, Dred and Carly.
Of course. I will do.
Appreciate it, and I'll head back to the group.
Do I just get any general sense? I actually meant to ask earlier about Oceanus.
Right.
His desire to come with us on this mission, did that seem earnest?
Roll an insight. Or is that what that 24? What? Or is that what that 24 was for? I'm sorry.
No, the 24 was that was when I was thinking about hiring a guard.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's right. That's right. Now I remember. So yeah, he seems just mysterious. You don't really, since you can't communicate with him directly, you really don't know anything more about him. He's just the same as he ever was.
Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna keep an eye on Carly and Dred. But it'll be fun.
Yes, it will. So let's see, token. And we also have Oceanus.
Lobu. Callie is just going to be perched up on your shoulder for the time being, just keeping you company.
Oh, sounds good. No reason, huh?
You just look like you're in a tough spot.
All right. Yeah, I love Callie, so it doesn't bother me at all.
I don't have a good picture. But, just pretend there's a token there for Carly today. Lobu, what are you inciting exactly? Are you inciting,
I was just kind of inciting Dovin as to why he was leaving Callie with me.
Dovin, what is your answer? Unless you wish to roll a deception check of some kind?
No, he looked like he's in a tough spot and needs some company. Callie makes the most perfect company.
Yes,
She's lovely.
She does. She is a very nice little fake crab.
Snip, snip.
So, Dredd, this is probably the first time you noticed the crab.
Okay.
There is a small crab now sitting on Lebu's shoulder, and you saw Dovin place it there.
Okay, so you have a pet crab.
Oh, oh my goodness! I can't believe I forgot to introduce you to Callie. This is Callie. She's my dear friend. She's actually the one that showed me how to find all of you. Well, I suppose not you, but in a way, sort of you, because you came aboard our ship. It's kind of crazy how fate works that way, doesn't it? Anyways, yes, Callie, meet Dredd. Dredd, meet Callie.
Hi, Kelly.
Callie just kind of waves a quad and snips twice.
Carly finishes packing down her booth and putting all of the stuff that she was selling into one of the bags of holding that seems to be marked with specifically for toys. And then she loads up all of the bags of holding onto what looks to be a some kind of mobile cart. Like just attaches them all there. It looks like it was like the pared down version of the entire display unit that she put up. It's like, oh, well, I'm ready to go, I think. And we have the raft, we have me. And she kind of smiles at Dredd. Hello, I'm Carly. How are you?
I'm Dread.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Dredd. And she kind of looks you up and down and thinks for a moment and says, I want to say Goddess of Death, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's a good choice. Not the most fun-loving of deities, but, people need, when people die, they shouldn't be hanging around necessarily. Bad things can happen to them. So she always likes to look out for them, look out for the dead.
Unless just kind of tilts her head at Tread.
All right then. Shall we go? Are we all going to the same place?
I believe we are.
Excellent. Now before you guys leave, oh that's right, you've got never mind. You've got ways of making water, food, and all the other stuff. So you don't really need to worry about too many rations. You have those as a emergency measure. So that. But you did say you wanted to take care of insects, correct?
Yes.
I suggested it, right?
All right. Let me get out the correct book. That'll tell me some information about what kind of salve is needed. Yeah, so you don't really find too much at first while you're looking around at the various stores. So most of them are not catering to people going, inland. Most of them are catering to people either walking the roads, going north, or getting on a ship and going around south, that sort of thing. But eventually you do find a tiny stall that seems to be more geared towards, exploratory gear and such. So you find, somebody's, a place that has backpacks and trail rations and water skins and a few other little odds and ends. And they also appear to have some kind of salve that they are selling. That basically has a picture of a standard kind of bug on it with a X through it.
Greetings.
Hello there.
We'd like to pick up some of the. We're expecting to go someplace with a lot of bugs.
Then
Do you have
definitely want some salve.
How much? How much do you think for 8 people? 9 people?
Looks like there's 8 of you altogether.
For 3? Hello?
I think it dropped, unfortunately. Can you repeat that, please?
Oh, how much for 8 people? Maybe
8 people for, did you say 2 days or 3?
Let's say 2.
8 people, 2 days. Starts looking over his supplies and kind of rubs his chin a bit. Well, kind of looks you guys over. Seems to be sizing you up a little bit. How about we call that an even gold? And this bottle of salve.
Easy. All right. Sounds good to me.
All right. Excellent. Let's hope it works for you. I mean, I'm not used to seeing that sort of salve worked on a... What are you exactly? A sea elf, I believe? Is that correct?
Me? Oh, I'm human.
Oh, sorry, Dovin. My bad. Cage. You guys do not sound the same, but sometimes my brain just refilters between Dovin and Nobu. I don't know why it does that.
No worries.
I apologize mightily for that. But it says, okay, well, I don't know how... Then he's eyeing up the fact that you've got 3 sea elves with your party. I don't know how well it's going to work on the sea elves there. So, no guarantees on that, but it should work fine with humans, orcs, tieflings, and goblins, I suppose.
Half orc? Excuse me, half orc?
Well, orc, human, to half orc, yeah.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Alright. Well, hope to see you again. I hope that, therefore, it does its trick.
I think we're all set to head out.
Yeah, let's roll.
Heading out on the open road, or in this case, on the riverside.
Noxie puts one foot on the railing of the ship and points outwards as if she was going to say, "Now let's set sail!" But she doesn't because she can't speak.
Give her a good old pat on the head.
We appreciate the sentiment, first mate.
Flipping to my map. Alright. So, the Dunwater is just a bit south of Saltmarsh. You know from discussions that the point of recon is about 10 miles down that river. It flows to the east. And Carly helps you set up with the raft that she apparently, again, had put in a bag and now pulled out and is in the process of unfolding. It's rather a strange contraption, though it does appear to be somewhat magical. It's too
Hey,
bad. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Captain. I was just thinking maybe we could split off into 2 different groups. Some of us could go into the town as guards for Carly here, and the stealthier among us could go and look about the more unexplored regions.
I think that's probably very beneficial. It worked for us last time when we got the smugglers. It's a good idea. Of course, we don't know what we're going to be approaching. I guess the 3 sea elves would be fine in the marsh. If you're stealthy? Are you stealthy?
I'm all right. But I guess either way we can decide when we get a little closer.
Sure. We'll keep it in mind.
So what did it look like Carly was unpacking? Was she unpacking the raft?
Yeah, she's unfolding the raft and she's placing it on the Dunwater now that you've approached it.
Certainly have a lot of fun little knickknacks, don't you?
Yep.
Where do you get all these things?
Well, I've picked them up here and there on the road. As I said, I do a lot of traveling. You know, you could be surprised at what you can find out there.
You searching for gold, way of life? What's your
I just like a bit of fun and like to explore. Sometimes like to make people happy.
you want to make these lizard people happy? The
Uh,
lizard folk?
yeah, like making anybody happy. I mean, happy people don't want to fight each other, right?
That's generally true, yeah.
Yeah. You'd be surprised what some
Do
good
I get a sense?
candy and a few jokes will do. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask for an insight check just
Go
to
for it. Yeah, she seems quite honest and, quite willing to spread the fun and maybe do a little bit of, goodwill here.
sounds good. Certainly hope we can spread that goodwill. Always good to have a smile. I'm a little worried about potential violence. I promise we'll keep you safe.
Potential one, I'm sorry, that dropped again.
Violence.
Oh, well, as long as I'm not in the direct line of fire, I should be fine, right?
Definitely.
And as she, finishes and she pulls out, a pair of oars that go along with the raft from her bag of holding, she then pulls what looks like a second, smaller, unfoldable raft from that same bag of holding. And she begins setting that up.
Do we need to?
Oh, well, I need to put my bags of holding in my traveling cart on there, don't I?
Fair enough.
She, puts that in there and she, fixes it up so that it's, tethered by a rope to the bigger raft. And she claps her hands together. There now, everything should be fine. And she kind of glances over towards Volan. Are you alright? Captain, wasn't it?
Yep, that's what they call me. I'm just very nervous for you. You don't seem to have much combat experience, and even if we don't end up fighting these lizard folk, we are traveling through the marshes. We might run into things. I'm not entirely sure that you'll be fine.
Well, I mean, with you guys out there to protect me, I do have a way of defending myself. Is this nothing I can use if I'm out on my own? And she kind of produces something from one of the bags of holding. Looks like a little medallion. And she kind of holds it up. This will fully protect me, but it won't let me move anywhere. Meaning that, if I was being surrounded by enemies and just used it, they'd still be there when it kind of fails. Whereas I imagine that with you guys out there, I'll be able to deflect any arrows that come my way and keep me safe from that.
If you're sure, then we should, I am going to lose it.
Carly grins over at Topaz. Oh, so that's your girlfriend. All right, I got it. Are you the one that you wanted to buy? Is she the one that you wanted to buy the adult toys for?
Wait, huh?
We can make a deal later. How about that?
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
I think I've even got some edible fun time objects as well.
Oh no.
Anyway, GM is face palming, but the character is enjoying it.
Noxie's view of Carly is completely tainted. She thought she was just a pure candy selling, toy selling woman.
Poor Noxie. Anyway. So Carly gets everything set up, and she climbs onto the raft and smiles around. So, does anybody know of any of the dangers that might be on this particular river?
No. We have no idea what's going to be up there.
I kind of just got in the and said, "Let's go." Would we know?
Yeah, would we know anything?
Roll an investigation
Well-
check because you have been talking to people lately. Alright, Dovin. Pretty much the latest gossip you've heard in town, Dovin, over the last day, and that occurs to you now, is that there was a comment saying that that a tribe of bullywogs had been seen somewhere about 5 miles away, somewhere in the marshes. No one's entirely sure where they are since they keep moving around, but bullywogs have been occasionally ambushing travelers.
Bullywugs.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know anything about them?
Roll a nature check.
Nope.
You think that they are some kind of frog. Other than that, you're not sure.
Tribe of frogs. Might be fun to see them. But they are ambushing people.
Can we all roll nature on that?
Sure. Yeah, Volin, as soon as you hear him mutter something about bullywogs, you remember what kind of creatures those are, and you know a lot more about them. Let me pull out my info guide on that. Give you the details because you had such a high roll. So, bullywogs. You know that they are very much frog people, frog humanoids. They live in very moist, very damp areas, mostly rainforests, marshes, and very damp caves. They are not exactly they aren't good people whatsoever. They have a worse reputation in many ways than most bugbear. Of course, most bugbear these days are fall into the two camps similar to the lizard folk, whereas you've got the bugbear who have kind of become civilized and have become productive members of society here and there, and others that are still out there killing and eating things. But basically, the bullywogs, you really haven't seen bullywogs in civilization before. Bullywogs are just nasty opportunists that'll pretty much eat anything that they come across. So in fact, even when you're thinking about that, your eyes naturally draw towards Noxie. Noxie would be the most likely potential prey to a bullywog in your group.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the whole group know that. Good news is, though, Noxie, you might find those evil people you were looking to steal from. Assuming they don't eat you, of course.
Your ears droop.
We won't
I
let
won't let
them
them
eat.
eat you.
Yeah, we won't let them eat you.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hmm.
But if we do get ambushed, we should take care of whatever threat that is.
You also know that that bullywogs seem to be under the belief that they and only they are the rightful rulers of swampy lands, which often brings them into conflict with other races in the area, especially with lizard folk and the like.
Good news is, if we do try to make this a diplomatic mission and we end up wiping them out, we might have a leg to stand on if we talk to the lizard folk.
That's a very good point. It's a good observation.
I'm starting to kind of spoil for a fight too, personally.
Me too. Kind of.
we'll take care of whatever comes our way.
All right. Now, does anyone need a break before we finish off with this last hour?
I could use like a minute and a half.
All right.
Bless you.
Thanks. So just let me know when you get back, and we'll pick up there with you guys on the swamp.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
Thanks.
So, you guys have started off on your way, and during the discussion of the bullywugs, Carly just kind of claps her hands together and says, "See, right there, that's the sort of thing that would be very dangerous for me on my own. That's why I need guards. So I'm really grateful you guys are letting me accompany you instead of me having to hire some other people who have to be coming this way anyway."
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong, Captain? You seem a bit skeptical.
I'm not certain you're gonna find the business you're looking for up with the lizard folk. I'm very curious.
Well, you know, it's going to be fun regardless. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to learn something.
You're very optimistic.
Yeah, it pays to be optimistic. I'm a very optimistic woman.
Now Noxie's gonna do an insight check on this woman.
Actually, I need to whisper something to you. Where is Noxie? Noxie. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, you look over Carly's face, and she's definitely smiling bright. She definitely seems to be telling everything the truth, but for just a moment, you catch this weird twinkle in her eye. Oops, I didn't realize Topaz was away too. You catch this weird twinkle in her eye, as if she is thinking about something else entirely. It's hard to tell what that means.
Okay.
Kind of gritty, but it's kind of the perfect cover too.
True.
All right. Sorry, I hadn't realized you were away as well, Topaz.
Not back now.
I didn't miss anything. Noxie was just rolling an insight check on Carly, and so I had to give Noxie a whisper.
So how are we gonna get these rafts upriver? We need the oars or poles? What?
Yeah, she pulled out oars as well from her bag of from that specific bag of holding.
I'll take a pole.
I want to take one too. Unless we're actually gonna need to make strength rolls.
No, I'll let you have it. In this part, like, you really need the paddles more because it's all, clear water. It's like, lots of space there. Once you need the poles is when it gets more marshy, when there's more roots and many plants kind of in the way. So as you start, heading your way east along the river, you just the sounds, the sights, the smells of the town of Saltmarsh just all kind of fade away, and you start hearing birds, and hearing the occasional frog. Nothing big enough to be a bullywug, but you do hear frogs croaking occasionally. And you just kind of like float down a bit of the river, and see various trees springing up.
I'm doing the water thing. I'm not riding the raft.
Okay. Who is going to be in front watching the way you're going?
I guess I should do that.
And Lobu would like to help if at all possible.
Are you asking for a perception roll?
Yes, please. Sorry, I thought I said that, but it must have got cut off.
Is this purely above water perception roll?
You can also roll below water perception roll, sometimes. All right. As you kind of look out a bit, Dovin, you could see what looks like something floating far off in the water. Topaz, though, you looking through the underwater, you see what's clearly some kind of gator, just kind of floating on its own in the distance.
Yeah, okay. At which point, as soon as I see elfinly possible, I will be putting a hand up on the side of the raft and letting them know.
I see it too. How big does it?
It looks medium sized, like a young adult.
Topaz, maybe you should come up onto the raft when we pass by in case it gets a little territorial.
We could just shoot it from here.
We shouldn't. They haven't caused any trouble yet.
Looking more carefully, do I just see the one?
Yeah, it's just like one kind of floating around there.
If we take care of it now, we don't have to worry about it following us at any point.
You could also ask it some questions, Topaz, as long as you don't
No.
think you're going to get bit.
It's too big.
Hey,
I snicker it.
I think we can get by it without too much trouble. If it starts making some problems, then we can move along.
All right. I'll clamber up aboard for that.
I'll try to navigate around it, try to avoid starting anything.
All right. Roll a dexterity check. See how well you can maneuver this. Oh yeah, yeah. You push off long before you get anywhere near the gator. You just see the gator just kind of watching you at a distance, but it doesn't approach. It's like you guys are just big predators as far as it's concerned, and it's knows its place in the world.
Callie waves at it.
Carly, not Callie, but Carly leans over the side of the raft and seems to be watching it at a distance. I figured there'd be more of those.
Be glad there's not.
She nods and looks back at Topaz. Is that why you are sticking around the water, so you can spot those things better?
Yes. It's only logical.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. And she smiles.
She's a human?
She looks to be human, yeah.
Looks to be.
As far as you guys can tell. I'm picking up my GM's word choices. But I'm saying is, as far as you can tell, she's a human. Just like as far as anybody can tell, Dovin is human. Dovin knows he's human, therefore I just say human because of that. This is an NPC.
Not unless-
You do not know.
Not unless they change that, Lobu. That's what mine says.
Yeah, I think mine. I don't know how that got entered in wrong, but that's why I was hitting that, because I looked up the full version, or I looked up the Unearthed Arcana version.
I wonder if his friends got eaten by bullywugs.
So another hour passes by. Perception checks again, please.
Ooh.
I'll help again.
This time, Nox is going to be on the lookout.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
So there, up ahead of you, you see movement in the water. 3 large undulating shapes. Long, thin, sinuous. Serpents.
Poke my head up. Snakes.
Snakes.
Wisdom
Foxy
saving
loads
throw
up.
from Lobu.
He loads up a bolt.
So,
Lobu's gonna go to the very back of the boat as far as possible.
wisdom saving throw from Lobu, please. Sorry, I think my voice got cut off on that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here we go.
Alright, you're good. You can fight these. They aren't scaring you to death today.
Do these look like dangerous kinds or just big kind?
Roll a nature check.
Oh, those are definitely dangerous kinds.
So yeah, you can take a look at them and you recognize what these are. Poisonous snakes.
Not again.
As long as we don't dive into a well with them, I think we're alright.
Do we know they can go on land too? I would imagine.
Yeah, you'd be aware of that. Yeah, I forgot to.
Is it worth going all the way into land around them, or
You know that they can get on land, that they can get on your boat, that they, you know, can get a lot of places. But in this case, they happen to be in the water.
Are we rolling initiative?
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, Oceanus and Carly kind of go to the back as well.
somebody's got to go last?
There is your raft. So Topaz.
How far away are we from them?
Not far. They're closing fast on your raft.
Oh, they've noticed us.
Yeah, they seem to be swimming directly for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I will go ahead and see if I can dart somebody. I'm just double checking. I think that counts as a monk weapon for me.
I believe so.
Arm strike. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah. Try to dart one before they get too close.
All right, which one would you like to hit?
Number one.
All right,
I guess top one.
got it. Do you have a second attack in missile or just the one?
I don't think so. I think the second attack has to be. Oh, attack action with an arm. No, it would have to be an unarmed strike. So.
All right. So that brings us to Dread.
Alright, I'll shoot at the same one.
All right. And that one quickly descends down into the water. You see blood coming up. Most likely that one's dead.
This will be the end of my turn.
Noxie.
I wouldn't have advantage, right, if I attacked?
No, you wouldn't.
Okay. I'm just going to shoot this.
Your bolt sinks harmlessly into the water.
Alright. Then I'm just gonna hide amongst the people that are taller than me.
Giant poisonous snake. Where is my...
And that ends my turn.
So yeah. This one swims all the way up and just gets over the side of the raft almost as if it's not there and immediately goes to strike at Topaz.
15. That will
And
miss.
that's a miss. Yeah. Gotta love monks. Dovin!
I'm gonna go ahead and use frostbite on the one that's still in the water.
Got it. Constitution saving throw. And that's a miss. You see a bit of ice just forming around the snake, and it slows down a lot in the water.
So it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Yeah. As it swims in, it gets within striking range of Volan, which means it's disadvantage, which is good for you guys. Oops. So just so advantage toggle. Disadvantage. So that's just a 14. Does 14 hit Volan?
No.
It does not. So both snakes miss as they come up and, onto the raft with you guys. Lubu, what do you do?
Lobu's going to stand back there and kind of like reach over Dovin's shoulders and just yell at the snakes. You slimy bastards couldn't bite the broadside of a boat.
Ooh, that's a good one too. Wisdom saving throw.
Yay.
The snake's eyes seem to flash and it turns its head towards you. It seems to have taken excellent damage from that attack. Doesn't Victor's Mockery also have a disabling effect? Towards disadvantage on something?
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think let's take a look. Disadvantage on the next attack roll.
Got it. Volan, what do you do?
I'm going to pull out my great axe and break the one that just struck at me.
Yeah, the one that's currently distracted by Lubu. Ooh, nice. You swing that axe around, and the head just drips down onto the this part of the raft. The rest of the body collapsing into a little pile here at your feet. Topaz.
All right. The spear, that one. That was hurt a little. That one. Oh, it was killed. Okay.
Yeah, that one's killed. I'm just marking it there because the body's still there. You just kind of bring your spear down and stab into this one. It lets out a mighty hissing screech as you do.
All right. I'll try to stop it.
But even though it's injured, its body partly impaled by that spear, still manages to wiggle free from the attack of your boot.
Okay.
Dread, what would you like to do?
Move over to here. And I'll attack it. Draw my longsword.
Alright.
And miss.
Alright. You manage to hold on to your blade even as you start swing it down and end up swinging yourself all around 360 degrees.
That's the end of my turn.
It's almost like dancing, but you didn't mean to do
Yeah.
it. Noxie.
Gonna move over here and then from between Topaz's legs, I'm going to shoot a crossbow.
Topaz's very muscular legs, yeah.
I'm going to shoot a crossbow bolt here. And that's sneak attack, right?
Yes, it would be. Oh, your
Nice.
crossbow bolt shoots out between her legs and just goes skewering right through this thing's body, right through the open mouth, down the body canal, and out the tail. You essentially filleted your snake while killing it.
Dinner.
Very well could be.
Oh, an image
Right.
counted for. Carly,
Diving in to retrieve my dart.
roll an investigation check. Unfortunately, you cannot see it anywhere. It must have fallen somewhere into the silt below and is now lost to you.
Dang it.
Noxie holds up the sign. Can you look for my crossbow bolt as well?
You don't, with that roll, unfortunately, you didn't see anything.
Gone.
She just kind of looks disappointed.
Carly is meanwhile clapping her hands. Bravo! Bravo! You guys are good at this, aren't you?
We have some
like to think.
practice. What was that?
I was basically about to say the exact same thing you did.
Every time Carly speaks, Noxie just kind of tilts her head at her, like she's confused, like she's trying to figure something out.
I'm having a thought about this raft. You know how we're expecting those bullywugs in the area? Would we be in trouble if we get attacked while on this raft?
What do you mean? Carly asks, looking up.
Just, tactically,
I don't
would we
know.
be in trouble?
I don't know enough about bullywugs. Do you know anything about bullywugs?
Our captain here does.
She smiles over at Vulin. Vulin, what you know about bullywugs in general is that while they do swim, it's more likely that they would set up an ambush on the land in order to ambush land dwellers versus the water itself.
I don't think it's likely we'll get attacked while we're in the boat itself. Maybe if we take to the land at some point, which we're probably going to have to do, just we should keep an eye out. But we're probably
Okay, thanks.
Is everyone okay? Can we continue onwards, or?
Fine.
Let's go.
I will collect my flayed snake.
So after another couple of hours, the sun is now going down past the trees. You see the red moon in the sky, more prominent, showing up. The other moon, the much more distant one, the blue-green one, is faint, kind of just barely rising. Carly just kind of stretches a bit and says, well, I think we're going to have to make camp soon.
Agreed. Dovin is kind of staring at the red moon, kind of like a distant look on his face. I think he's thinking about something, but when Carly picks up, he kind of snaps out of it. And yeah, we should probably think about setting up camp unless we want to travel throughout the night, which I'm not sure I'm up for doing that.
Well, let's
Good
begin.
for Just looking for a good place to land that won't float away or ground itself.
if you automatically find one. Yeah, after a little bit, you find as the river is kind of widening out and starting to become a bit shallower as the marsh kind of grows more intense. Uh, you find that while it's still deep enough for your certain things, up ahead there is a tiny little island of sorts. It's not nothing really spectacular. It's a single tree with enough land around it to make a small camp, to both moor your boat and to set up some kind of shelter for all of you. Not much more land than that. It's like nothing you could build a house on or anything like that. It's just a really tiny little spot.
In the middle of the river.
Yeah, well, it's starting to widen out into the more marsh, so there's like more pockets of little bits of land here and there with trees on them.
Okay, I'll swim over there and crawl up on it. Take a look. If it looks good, I'll motion them over.
Yeah, it's nice and solid. The root structure is really taken here, so it maintained a lot of the dirt and therefore provided land in the middle of the water.
This looks good.
All right. We should probably set up watches. Does anybody here? The elves only have to sleep for 4 hours, right?
That's correct.
Do we want to just have them trade off, or do we want to have at least 2 people on guard at a time?
Feel like trading off is all right, probably.
I'd suggest 2, just to be sure.
Do you want me to do any guarding? Carly speaks up.
I think we can handle it. We're your guards, right?
Yeah, that doesn't mean I can't take a watch. I mean, I would be useless in a fight, but I mean, I could wake up early enough and take a third watch if you want. Help keep us safe. I can always alert people.
Captain?
I'll take watch with you if you want to do that.
Ah, that sounds great. She smiles at Volan.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell all about Topaz.
Oh.
What? What?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. What?
Don't worry about it, Topaz. We'll talk later.
So it looks like Oceanus and either Topaz or Lobu for the first watch.
What's Carly's?
Can you repeat that? I think it dropped.
What's Carly's charisma?
You don't know what sort of roll are you trying to make for that to determine?
Her charisma?
No. I mean, what are you asking about that? What are you trying to determine in looking at her? Are you trying to incite her? Are you trying to?
Oh no! I just want to know how attractive she is.
Ah. Well, she kind of would remind you a bit of, well, in real world terms, like one of those cute anime girls with the multicolored hair,
Oh boy.
big purple eyes.
Okay. As Wolin says, I'll tell you later. I just kind of look over and shrug and smile and look between them and say, "Guest appearances."
So we have 2 on the first watch. Is that what I understand?
And by the way, she has toys.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of those bags.
Lobu's gonna volunteer for the first watch.
I'll help with first watch.
Alright, so the people on first watch, please roll perception check as everybody else beds down. are you guys all eating the snake that's, or is this Noxie eating the giant snake?
Lobu will have some of that, and between each bite, be like, "Yeah, take that and that."
Constitution saving throw. But first, Noxie, roll a ooh, let's see which one.
Who prepared it?
Intelligent. Roll me an intelligence check, Noxie. With
All right. Just straight intelligence.
yeah, straight intelligence this time. I think would be good. Yeah, the food that you cooked it expertly. You managed to get rid of any poison that there might be in there, and like maybe save the heads for milking poison later if you need to. But it is well cooked, well seasoned. It is fantastic, but I still need a Constitution saving throw from Lobu. Oh, and God, Lobu,
Hey,
you might hate snakes when they're alive, but cooked this way, cooked by Noxie, they are the most delicious food you've ever tasted.
I look over at Noxie and I'm like, snakes are kind of like pinatas, but the outside is covered in fear and the inside is covered with delicious meat.
She nods, and she holds up a sign. Can I also be the ship chef?
First mate and ship chef?
She nods. She holds up a sign. We only have a small crew.
That's a good point. You've got my vote.
Mine too, for chef anyway. I've never had sea snake meat done so well. And that includes all the elves.
She nods.
I'll go ahead and make some good berries for anyone that doesn't want to indulge in poisonous.
Oh, and I've got fish from this morning too.
She writes another note, and it says I used to cook rats in the sewers all the time.
Carly reads the note and smiles at Noxie and reaches over and pats her on the head. It's like, well, this is a far step up from rats, dear. Here.
She recoils as you pat her. As Carly pats her.
She reaches into one of her pouches and pulls out a impossibly fresh pastry. It looks like some kind of donut with chocolate and some kind of red confectionery on it, and offers it to Noxie. Have a donut.
Suspicious. I'm rolling insight.
I'm sure it's not poison.
It seems fine.
Fine to me. He's gonna chomp right into that.
Now, has Noxie ever had other than the cotton candy earlier, ever had sugars and confectionaries before?
She's pickpocketed candies before.
What about pastries?
Not pastries. She's only been able to look at them from the bakery. She's look through the window and drool.
So let's try a Constitution saving throw with hers. Doesn't always agree with everybody. They're pretty good. You've never tasted anything quite like this. I mean, you had the nice sweet spun sugar earlier, but this is something very nice and just kind of heavy and it makes your tongue tingle a little.
She smiles, gets all her suspicions about Carly.
All right. So the first perception was from Dread. Who else is on first watch?
Oh, me, Lobu.
So Lobu, please make a second perception check. And everything seems fine. You sit out there with Dread. And yeah, there's probably a potentially sugar high Noxie at the moment. After that cotton candy earlier and now the pastry.
If Noxie is up, I would like to call her over. Noxie, you seemed a little. And then he just like points at his head and at her head and kind of looks questioningly.
She just tilts her head.
Well, and then he just goes for it, and he uses the mind thing to communicate directly with Noxie. He's like, "You don't seem to trust that lady very much. Is there anything going on? I wanted to communicate this way, which I hope is all right, so that she wouldn't overhear."
She holds up a sign that says, "That'd be a cool thing for me to have."
You can actually think back at.
Oh, does it work two ways?
Yes, it does. That's what Awakened Mind does. It lets you do like telepathic communication between people.
Oh.
Yes.
It's not.
So I guess-
that.
So I don't know how my curse would affect that, because would you hear my voice?
That's actually up to you. You can either decide to use the voice, or as a creative touch, you can just have even in Lubu's mind projecting flashcards.
I think the curse only stole Noxie's spoken voice, so I think you would actually hear Noxie's voice for the very first time.
Aww.
And she go, man, it'd be really cool if I had that. If I was able to talk like this freely.
I wish I could give it to you, but I think it might be coming along with some extra things.
I wasn't trusting her at first because she seemed like she was thinking about something else. But when she was like talking about reasons for her being here, but then she gave me that donut, so now I don't really care.
That seems totally reasonable. Well, as long as you didn't get like bad vibes off of her, I suppose it's probably going to be all right.
Yeah, she seems nice enough.
Well, that's all. But it's nice to hear your voice, Noxie.
It's nice to be heard.
Aww. So shall we move on to second shift?
Yeah, let's do it.
That would be Topaz and Oceanus. Oceanus kind of gets down to the water and swims over to Topaz. Is everything okay? He asks in Aquan.
So far.
So, what do you think of the stranger with the strange hair?
Is her hair strange? I hadn't noticed.
Well, to me, it's very strange. Multicolored like that.
Why do you think of her?
Well, I don't really understand what she's saying, so she seems nice enough. I mean, I saw her handing out food to the goblin and everything.
Well, she's a merchant. It's what they do.
Well, I suppose so. Though I thought merchants usually like wanted gold and such for their troubles.
Well, I'm sure she's looking for a profit from these lizard folk.
Maybe. Though
be the first one in to make an inroad into the trade route.
I suppose that's true. Somebody's got to be first, right?
I guess so.
And at some point, Topaz, please roll a perception check.
All right.
Alright. Somewhere far off in the distance, somewhere to the south, you think you see a very distant sparkle of some kind of either campfire or torchlight. But it is very far off to the south. It's like, barely registering through the trees, but your very keen eyesight picks it up.
Like a campfire or a torch.
It's hard to tell at this distance. All you know is there's a pinpoint of firelight somewhere to the south. It's like a very tiny pinpoint, practically like a star in the sky, but it's, between the trees.
Keep an eye on it, see if it moves.
Alright.
Who else is up with me?
Pretty much just Oceanus. Everyone else is sleeping at this point.
I'll get his attention and point.
Oceanus looks that way and squints and says, I don't see any movement. Do you see something that I don't?
Flame.
Yes, well, that's definitely the sign of civilization. Of some kind. Some kind of people. Alright, that's how we can tell these things on the surface.
I don't know if bullywugs need fire to see by or not. Lizard folk do.
Cooking fires. Could be.
Alright, like I said, just try to keep it in my eyesight steady for at least 5 minutes and see if it moves any.
Alright. After about 3 minutes of your staring, the light just seems to vanish and doesn't return.
Can I judge from the distance how big it might have been?
It's said as far as you're concerned, it was the equivalent of a piece of starlight. Without any instruments, there's no way of really telling.
Was it in the direction we were going, or?
No, it's to the south, and you're heading east.
Okay. Well, whoever relieves us, I will pass that information on.
Alright. You spend the rest of your particular shift watching and waiting and not seeing anything more return. As finally we get to I want to say Dovin and Carly? Was that it?
Volan and Carly were going to
Volan
be
and Carly, that's right. I couldn't remember who and who. I just looking at the two. So Carly just kind of like wakes up and stretches. It's still dark out. Sun's coming up soon.
Looks like it. We should be heading out soon. It's good.
Alright. She scratches her head. She smiles at Volan. So, you and the very athletic sea elf.
Very athletic.
Well, she looks it.
Yeah. She actually gave me this tattoo, and I'll show her my very realistic tattoo.
Oh.
She could probably give you one if you'd like.
That would be kind of cool. What kind of tattoo do you think she'd give me?
Depends what you want, I guess.
Well, I think that should come as a bit of a surprise now, shouldn't it?
That's certainly very... Yeah, that's a good idea. You should do that.
So what do you think? Is Topaz very surprising? Is she, do you think...
God.
Surprising? In what manner? Actually, no, she's not surprising. We're just gonna end it. I don't like where this is going. I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, anything really. You can talk to me. It's all good.
She's very good at fighting.
I mean, did she give you surprise? Did she give you that tattoo as a surprise, or did you ask her for it? What?
She actually gave Lobu and I their different qualities, but we asked for them.
Oh, okay.
She can be kind. I think she's capable of that.
Well, all that matters is if she's kind where it counts. And she kind of gives you a wink.
Yeah, she's very kind. So so what about you, Carly? Do you have anyone in town far away?
He kind of gets this distant look. Well, that's a rather complex question. I never really had family, but I've had friends. I've had good friends over the years. And, well, at the moment, they are all far away. The ones that are still alive, anyway. She
Were
lets out
you
a long sigh.
always a traveler? Is that why maybe
Well,
you can't see
yes,
them?
actually. I've always gone from place to place. It's just always been my nature. Occasionally, I've had friends who've tracked me down and, stuck with me for a while, but, they often have their lives and I have what I need to do, so.
I know I asked this already, and you've already given an answer, so feel free to tell me to fuck. Is there a different reason why you've decided to head to the lizard folk? I don't really have a reason to distrust you. It just seems very odd to me.
She just kind of looks this way and that way and this way and that way and then kind of leads up towards Topaz. I mean, not Topaz, towards Volin and says, you know what? I just like to be a little bit random. To do the unexpected and see. Nobody would expect a traveling merchant to be heading to those lizard folk right now. So I figured, hey, it's perfect. I'll go there.
Uh, Being unexpected can be great. I just ask that maybe if it's harmful to the group, you keep it to yourself.
I promise, I'm not gonna hurt you guys. I'm not. Truth be told, I don't want you guys to be hurt. You guys seem interesting. A very motley crew.
Does she seem truthful in that? I want to know if she wants to hurt the
Insight!
group.
Insight! Insight!
Jeez.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
You have no idea. You just can't read that exuberant face of hers. She's too exuberant.
Exuberant face of the devil.
She will kill us all.
I'm sorry I'm questioning you so much. I don't really have a reason to, so I do apologize if I come off as...
No. It's fine. It's perfect. It's fine.
Great. Did Topaz end up telling us about the light that she saw before she...
I passed it on, yeah, to
think
whoever
she
the
would have,
next
yeah.
guard was.
Okay, in that case, I'm also keeping an eye out for any lights, especially in that direction.
So, roll perception checks. Yeah, whatever that light is, either hasn't returned or it's so weak that the rising sun blots it out. Anything else, Philin?
Nope, I'm satisfied.
Alright. So, soon enough, it's daylight, and morning for everybody. You all start waking up, feeling more or less refreshed, and a few
Splush.
bugs have been attempting to bite at you, but they're driven off by that salve that you guys have been using.
And then all our stuff is gone.
No,
And so
your
is
stuff's
Carly.
there. No, she's there. She's still chatting with Volin. All's good. But this is where we're going to end for today's session. And pick up next week with approaching on the lizard folk. And anything dangers that might ride in between. Possibly bullywugs, possibly something else. We'll see.
It's a good session.
Yeah.